Untamed Tannery in Woodville is a company developed by Steve and Sue Boot to transform New Zealand's #1 pest into quality fur and leather products. As well as the tannery, Steve and Sue run Basically Bush, a business buying possum skins and fur from hunters.
Okay, well, Basically Bush was developed in 1998, specifically around the possum business. We've done lots of things from fur buying to training to selling pest control products, but it's now focused on buying possum fur, and Basically Bush would buy about 50 tonne a year, which is equates to about 1 million possums a year. We buy raw possum skins, which we process at the tannery here in Woodville, and we would process about 30,000 skins a year into dressed skins. We can dye them, and we also now have developed the Untamed brand, which is adding value to the dressed skins. So doing that, we opened a little shop attached to the factory. We sell top-end product here. The Untamed brand specifically uses top-grade skins because quality is what I focus on. We bought the tannery in 2008, mainly because we felt that it gave the hunter an added product that they could sell. They get more for a raw skin that we're going to dress than they do just buying the fibre from the possum. And we could see that the market for fur was on the increase. It had been in the 90s it was very up and down, but we could see that there was the potential for growth. We bought the tannery. We're very happy that we've got these 3 divisions within our company now. Fur has been controversial globally. The possum story is quite unique in that in New Zealand, of course, we all know that possums are an introduced animal and they are also a pest. We're not fur farming, we're harvesting wild animals, we're not making wild animals extinct. It's got a very unique story which goes down very well with most of our customers. The possums that we harvest, if they had been subject to other control mechanisms, which they possibly would be, they'd be left to rot. So we're utilising a raw material which no one else has got a use for. When possum merino yarn was developed in early 2000, late 1999, early 2000, it really boosted possum harvesting. Initially, I think we did less than 20 tonne a year. Now, as I say, we're doing, well, our company alone does 50 tonne. The industry on a whole would do maybe 70. That's, 1.7 million possums harvested for the possum merino yarn industry. At no cost to the government, the farmer, or the ratepayer, which is it's a wonderful use of a raw material that would otherwise be wasted. So these bags are quite new to our shop, and they're made from possum fur. This is dyed black, and we have got possum leather on the back. The government introduced a program where they want to be pest-free by 2050. Initially, I guess it was, oh my goodness, what's this going to do for our industry? But actually, we commend this initiative that they're aiming to achieve. But I think while Steve and I are still in business, I think the possum numbers will still be there for us to develop a significant business.
Yes, I can see outside in the winter.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Steve has a very good relationship with a lot of Department of Conservation agencies and regional councils, district councils, so that the hunters in those areas who supply Basically Bush often have access to the areas for harvesting prior to any control work using anything but using 1080 or other methods. And there's a win-win situation in that, and we're working harder and harder to develop a lot more of these relationships with such agencies.
The first thing we do is purchase the skins. They come in 2 different forms, frozen or dried. We grade those, size them, identify them so that we know what they started out at when they come through the end. They come into the wet room here where we rehydrate them or thaw them out as the case may be. And they go through a process of a number of days in these dollies here where we remove all sorts of things that we don't want to be in the skins and replace it with a preservative alum dressed skin so that they are then in a crust state so that we can process them further from the dry room. This is where they're preserved. They're tanned and they become a piece of leather and fur from here on in. They're no longer a raw skin. We want to preserve the skin, but we have to take care that we don't ruin the fur because that's quite easy to do and turn into a knotty mess. So we're focusing on both. What we're looking for is a good overall coverage and the length of the fur being similar all over the skin, the luster, the shine of the fur, and then any faults which are indicated by a lot of the times marks on the back where you get regrowth, where fur is starting to regrow, but it's pretty much like a bald spot. There's no preference to the natural colour of the fur. We have a market for everything, really. Darks seem to be the preference at the moment for finished product, but the greys, those are our raw stock for dyeing to all sorts of different colours and things. A good hunter, a good average is $14 a skin. You get more for skins than you do for the equivalent amount of fur that's on them, but then you've gone to a lot more effort to get the skin off the animal than you have just by plucking the fur.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.